My name is Khensani Mathebula. I am 22 years old. I'm from Johannesburg. Most of my childhood I lived in Kempton Park, but basically I'm a Johannesburg girl. And yeah, throughout my childhood I was just always very busy. My mom was one of those moms who just wanted their kids to be in some activities so that we would have no time to get into trouble.
I never wanted them to come from school and sit and watch TV. I wanted to involve them so that they were active. When I took them to Cathsseta, the big one, to crash, she was a big baby. And those years, I used to be a nursing sister and I worked at Sandton Clinic. And then in Sandton Clinic, there's a crash there for the medical staff and nursing staff. Now at the crash, there's a lady that used to go in at certain days and teach the little ones ballet dancing. Now Khensani is still small because I think she was about 8 months when I went back to work. Every time I went to pick her up after my shift, they will say to me, every time the dance lesson comes, even if one of the ladies is putting her on her back, she'll want to get down and go and sit there next to the door where the others are dancing and sit there until the class is finished.
Because Sunny got to see me dance from a young age, she was inspired also to dance. So that I understand. I don't remember her getting off anybody's back to come join classes. I just remember her always being in class with me.
Khensani would always ask, the minute she started talking, I also want to go dancing. That's when she also started dancing at 3 years old.
So started ballet age 3, and then moved to Vanessa's studio where there were more options. And Vanessa would enter her students into dance competitions. We did kind of small competitions like East Rand Dance Festival and Concord.
I started now following them because you have to take them there, you have to go and fetch them, and they go into competitions. And in this competition you can see that these children are talented and they are serious. So my role there was to make sure that when they go into this competition I cool them down. To say, look, when you go there, there are 2 things that are going to happen. You can win, you can lose. But one thing that I want to see you doing is to enjoy what you're doing.
I would do everything. I did tennis, netball, chess, public speaking, swimming, dancing. Yeah, but my first love was dance. I always loved dancing.
They would do competitions in different regions, and then after that those that won would then go and dance in Sun City.
And that was very different to your usual dance festivals. Different venue, different place. Sun City in itself is a different place. And then we just did it, and it was really, really so blessed.
And that was like a national dance competition, and from there that moves into an international dance competition, which was either hosted in Germany or Slovenia. I don't think my parents expected to have to fund a trip to Germany or Slovenia, you know.
We are talking about 3. So the mother must always be with the children. In this case, we are talking about going to Germany, where you have to talk about the flights, you have to talk about accommodation, you have to talk about... So there it was difficult.
Going to Germany with Mummy, it was our first time traveling with Mummy, was such a wonderful experience. And I think perhaps that type of seeing that level of dance on a world scale must have inspired Khensani.
I was entered into groups and duets and solos, and it was a big thing seeing, I don't know, kids from all over the world who enjoy doing the same thing that I did. And we did well, and of course after seeing it the first time you wanted to come back and do better. When I was about 16, I moved to Lorraine Rabin's dance school, and that was a big transition because I feel like at Vanessa's studio was competition dance, And when I moved to Mrs. Rabin's studio, it was more concert dance. So that's kind of streaming you into a professional dance career.
When she came to me, she started doing a lot of examinations for our association, the AIDT, and she also performed a lot on stage doing competitive work, festival work, where I would say she won everything that she did.
Basically through high school, my parents set the rule that I would have to keep up my grades in order to dance. So I never had the freedom of kind of just like being mediocre in school. I had to keep my grades up. And that's why I really pushed through matric and thankfully got 5 distinctions kind of exiting. But in terms of what I wanted to do after, I wanted to go overseas and dance, but I didn't think that would be an option. And so, I guess I looked towards my parents to ask them what they thought I should do.
So I said, the best I think you should do, I will be comfortable if I can see you pursuing law. Because if I had the opportunity, that is what I would have done.
And so I applied here in South Africa and I got into law at Wits. So for the first 6 months, kind of just out of matric, I went to Wits and did law. So I hadn't given up on the dance. It was just that I was looking around at what dance opportunities I would have here in South Africa in terms of training, and nothing would offer me a degree. I was hoping that maybe there'd be a way that I'd be able to go to New York and study dance.
Somebody from America came here to South Africa to do a workshop for dance teachers. But what had happened was that Khensani's dance teacher had a back op and couldn't go to the workshop, and asked Khensani to go and dance in her behalf so that Khensani could then teach for the teacher. Now, the lady that came from America, who is a part of Alvin, Ailey, noticed Khensani in the classroom as the youngest of all of them and was interested in her to say, "These are dance teachers and you seem to me like you're still young. What is going on?" And Khensani said, "No, I'm going to varsity. I am here to stand for my teacher." And the lady wanted to know, "But why are you so good?" So Khensani said, "It's probably because I've been dancing from age 3 and that I've done all the dance, exams." And the lady wanted to know, "What are you going to do now?" And Khensani says, "Well, I'm going to be studying law."
And she, of course, is the one who suggested that I go to Alvin Ailey, which was beyond my wildest dreams. And I had only seen Alvin Ailey on So You Think You Can Dance. And I loved it, and I recorded it, and I watched it again and again and again.
The biggest challenge was getting her there and the funding for the 4-year program.
But when it came to the funding, then my mom started the hustle. She was like, to her, I was going to go no matter what.
A friend of mine, we grew up together. Somebody said to me, works for Department of Arts and Culture. I gave her a ring and I said, "Listen, this is what is happening. I'm trying to get funding." And she said, "Listen, there is a list of the sitters. Just try and apply to all of them."
Thankfully, Cathsseta provided the funds for a 4-year scholarship.
There was no way Khensani was going to go to New York if it was not for Cathsseta.
On the flight going to New York, I think that's when it really dawned on me that I was moving away from home at 19 and I would be in New York with no family. And so when everyone went to bed on the flight, I cried because only now was I realizing how serious this was. And we landed, and thankfully my mom came with me to get me settled, and then I went to Ailey. you can just imagine, because this is the thing I've been dreaming of. Yes. So I go and I see all of these studios and these pictures of the company. And so I was beyond excited.
The Ailey Fordham VFA program is a 4-year course of study. It is extremely competitive. The students have to make 2 applications, not one. It's bad enough that they have to do 1 application for college, but this is 2 applications. One to Ailey, the Ailey School, so they have to qualify as dancers, and the other to Fordham University, they have to qualify as academic students.
The first year, she started just with a dance degree. But because she's a high achiever and very self-driven, she phoned and she said, I'm getting bored because it's not so difficult and I've got a lot of time. I would like to pursue the other degree and I will keep my grades.
I would say Khensani is handling the juggle of academics and dance very well. I feel like she's found a way to mend the 2.
I have grown so much in terms of my dance training, and I just want to keep on pushing forward. I want to step out of Ailey as the best dancer that I can be.
We are in a lot of the same levels, and it's very cool to see how she works, and she's very hardworking and very committed to the corrections and what the teacher is saying, and just that hour and a half of that class, it's very cool. And I like how, because we have a lot of the same classes, at the end of the day we can go and talk to each other like, oh, is that what they meant? Or, oh, did you have trouble with this combination? What was that again? It's nice to have that, especially because she's my roommate.
It's been good. It's been an adventure. That's what I'll say. It is a different culture, but people are welcoming, and I'm so glad that I've made good friends. A big thing for me was finding a good church and getting into a community. And so even though I was away from home and it took a lot of boldness, things went well. You know, I think it went as smoothly as it could go, and I found that I could call it home in a sense.
I think it's so important that Khensani and other dancers receive a funding to go overseas, to carry the flag for South Africa, and to come back and give of their knowledge and expertise to our young dancers.
If we get a department which looks for children who wants to better their life, and then that department go all out and help like they helped Khensani, like they helped us, I take my hat off.
I think it's important that our international students go to their own governments to say, this is something that I really want to do, and I will take it seriously, and I will bring back to my country the information and the things that I learned while I was there. I know that Khensani is interested in, at some point, perhaps starting a program like this program in South Africa. So I think with all of her education and maybe her law degree eventually, or graduate school, as the case may be, she will be able to do that. She's a very determined young woman.
I would like to say, Khensani, I feel so blessed to have met you and to be your friend for life, hopefully.
She's helped me get through a lot, and I don't know how I'd be without her. So I thank her for that.
I'm just very grateful, God first, my parents, my family, all of my dance teachers who have invested in me and made me ready, you know, and to Cathsseta, who continue to make it a possibility for me to go and study and to do my best. I will give it all I've got, as I always do, and I hope to make everyone proud.
The story you have just seen now of Khensani Mathebula, the young girl who is currently studying at university in New York, where she's studying for a law degree. At the same time, she's studying for head dance. It's quite an intriguing story, and also it's quite a fresh pursuit that she has gone through, and that's the kind of people that you would like to see. And I can assure you that Charisse Theron must watch out, because Khensani Mathebula is right behind her.